Hey guys, so we're here with another wonderful haul for you, another very special book haul. This is another part 2. Part 1 again is on her channel. If you haven't seen our engagement haul where we did part 1 and part 2, part 1 on her channel, part 2 on my channel, then you should go watch those. They'll be in the description. Click them, go watch them. You'll understand. We're getting married. That was not a joke. It wasn't. Hopefully you saw that and aren't confused right now. We're engaged. We're getting married. We're getting married in June. We're getting married June 25th of next year in California, where she's from. And these are the books that we're going to be using as centerpieces for the tables at our wedding reception. So
yes,
we kind of all explained that in her video. We weren't going to go into too much more detail. We're just going to kind of show books back and forth. These are really old vintage books that we want to use as centerpieces. They're really cool. Some of them we know a lot about, some of them we don't know anything about, some of them we just got because they look cool. It really depends, but we mostly just got them all because they're old and vintage looking and will look really cool as centerpieces on the table. They're going to do it by color. We showed red ones and green ones and black ones in her video on her channel, and we're going to show you like some brownish, reddish ones and then some blue ones and on this video.
So we're going to get started now, and the first book that I'm going to show is actually one that I'm not sure if we're going to put on. It has a dust jacket. None of the other books have dust jackets. So anyway, this is a book that I really love. I've read a couple times when I was a kid, and it is The Enchanted Castle by Edith Nesbit. It has this really cool dust jacket on it, and it's blue, bright blue, and really cool looking. The cover isn't that extraordinary though.
But it is blue, so it really depends on how we're feeling, if we're going to use the dust jacket or not.
It's full of illustrations though, and this book in particular was copyrighted, this edition, in 1966 is when it was published, and it has pretty illustrations in it and stuff. This is just a book that I'm super excited about in general. I really enjoy Edith Nesbit's books. I did as a kid, and Edward Eger, both of them, so I'm excited I got this in general. I flipped out when I saw it. And
yeah, she did.
Yeah,
I can
got
attest
it for
to that.
$1.
I've never read it before, but I'm definitely really excited to read it. Giselle talks about it all the time and like has told me plenty about it and how much she loves it, and I'm definitely gonna read it. So
yeah, I have some problems with it, but for the most part I enjoy it. It's just a fun, lighthearted book, and I'm excited we have it.
Yes, and so the first book that I'm gonna show is we don't really know much about it. It's not necessarily something we're going to read. I don't know. We're not really going to read it. It's just really cool. It's Our Wonder World, and it is Volume 4, Adventure and Achievement. So it's got these really cool spines, and I mean,
kind of like in relief.
Yeah, it's got some pictures in it. It's from a Library of Knowledge, and it was published in 1930. So I mean, it's really old. It's really cool, and so we just thought it would look really great.
The cover is gorgeous. I love the whole design and everything.
We just thought it would look really great on one of the tables, so we went ahead and got it.
Okay, so the next book we have is a book that I actually showed a different copy of in part 1 of this haul on my channel, but this book I'm even more excited about. It's the exact same book though, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. I absolutely love it. It's like a 5-star book for me, and it is 5 Little Peppers and How They Grew, and again, this is by Marjorie Sidney, I think, or Margaret Sidney, I don't remember. And oh my gosh, I saw that book first, the red version, and I flipped out because I love this book so much, and I didn't own a copy, and then I found this one like 2 minutes later.
Yeah, like we found them pretty much really close together, and we were just
I flipped out even more. This is like an even cooler, older edition, and the pages are literally like brown almost. And it has illustrations in it. There's Polly sick in bed when she has the chicken pox.
I've never read this before, like I mentioned in part 1 where we show the first version of this that we have. But I'm definitely interested in it. Like she said, it's one of her favorites. And just like Enchanted Castle, I know I'm going to read it sometime because of how much she talks about it and how much I know I should read it.
A billion times better than The Enchanted Castle, though. Like, I love this book so much with a deep passion. And it doesn't have a publication date, but it does have an inscription in the front that says from 1950, Janet from Mother?
Yeah, Mother.
So
that's
it's at least from the 50s.
It's at least from. It looks a little bit older than that, but I don't know that it just might have been given to someone in the 50s. But it's at least that old. So.
I'm so excited about it. I love it so much, and I'm so happy to have it on our tables at our wedding. Janet from Mother.
Yeah, Mother.
So
that's
it's at least from the 50s.
It's at least from. It looks a little bit older than that, but I don't know that it just might have been given to someone in the 50s. But It's at least that old. So.
I'm so excited about it. I love it so much, and I'm so happy to have it on our tables at our wedding.
And so the next one is a Dickens novel, and it is Nicholas Nickleby, and it's pretty cool. It kind of go like on the brownish side of things.
It's like
That's
a
probably
beigey color almost.
It's got like this cool like little paper like in the front flap. It's just really nice. I'm not sure if this one has a publication date. It does. It's 1940, so that's kind of cool.
It has illustrations in it. It has some colored ones and.
Yeah, it's over like 60 years old now, so that's kind of cool. I really like this edition a lot. Like how it says CD on it for Charles Dickens. So and this nice gold emblem right here.
Yeah, I haven't read Nicholas Nickleby yet, but I've been meaning to for a really long time. I've seen the movie multiple times while growing up, but
I don't know anything about it, so but it looks cool.
Okay, so the next book I have here is another book that I know of, but I have never actually read. But I've read the first book like multiple times, and it is Heidi Grows Up, and this is by Charles Tritton. I don't know, but it is from 1938, and it's this cool blue book, and it smells really old. Like it just has one of those super old book smells, like really strong, and it's full of illustrations. I've never actually read this book, which I'm kind of surprised about, but I should probably get on that at some point, and it has like the red pages on the top. I don't know, I have mixed feelings about the first book. I really loved it when I was a kid, and then as I got older and reread it, I didn't like it as much, so I need to reread Heidi again, and then I can read this one. Anyway, I'm excited we have it, and it's really pretty.
So the next book that we have is from 1980. It's The Mill on the Floss. This edition is from 1980. It's by George Eliot, and it's one of those other editions. We showed a couple editions that were sort of like this on her video on part 1, Moby Dick and Faust and some other ones, where they have these really Jane Eyre. We have these really interesting like insides with like this really strange things going on. These really beautiful covers, and they're just really really gorgeous. And I don't really know anything about this, but like with most of these, they're just really, really, really nice and just look really, really gorgeous. So.
I haven't read that one, but my mom hates the movie with a passion. She hates the story, so I don't know how I'll like it, but
we'll see.
Give it a try.
Yeah.
So the next two books I'm going to show actually go together, and I'm so excited about them. I really like this book series, and I've been collecting them in the yellow editions, the old yellow editions, and then I've been finding them in the blue editions and been buying them as well. The first book I have here is Nancy Drew and The Secret of the Old Clock, which is the first book, and it's by Carolyn Keene, and this is from the 30s. I think it's actually from 1930s when this edition was published, and it has an inscription in the front from the 50s when somebody gave it to somebody else, but it has the blue inside. And then I also got The Mystery of the Ivory Charm. I don't remember which number this is, honestly. I'm really sorry. I should know, but I don't. And this is from 1936, so
at least 6 years after this one, so the first one.
Yeah, I don't remember which one this is. I don't even remember if I've read this one. I've read like a handful here and there. I have read this one, I think, a couple times, actually. So I got both of those. We got both of those, and I really like the Nancy Drew books.
I've never read Nancy Drew books before. I actually might consider doing it with like these old editions. They're such good condition for being from the 1930s. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I was just gonna show this is the other like editions that I do like to collect. It's the yellow old editions, like that aren't the shiny ones. They're like the matte covers that are even older, and these were published in like the 70s, and then they redid them, I think, in the 90s with the shiny covers. Which
is like that. We have a bunch of different versions of Nancy Drew books.
So.
I've never read any Nancy Drew, but we have a bunch now, like from the different versions, the different editions, from the different time periods, and these are the oldest ones.
Well, there's like at least 60 in the original series, so we actually don't own that many in comparison.
But this is really cool. We have these two now, and I really like them. They're really good condition from the 30s. So the next book that I'm going to show is one that a lot of people have read, and I've actually read too. It's The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. I actually didn't like this book at all when I read it in high school. I might like it better now if I try to read it again. But it's a really old edition. It doesn't have a publication date in it, but it looks pretty old. It looks at least from like 40s or 50s, maybe earlier than that.
So, I'd say 30s, yeah.
So the 30s, like it's really old. It's a really good condition.
Even earlier than that, it could even be 20s or 10s. It's really awesome.
It just looks like it came before there was a normal thing to put the publication date in it. Like it's that old. Like it's really old. So really glad to have that.
Okay, and the next book that I've never actually read The Scarlet Letter, but I have read this book, the next book I'm going to show you, and Chris hasn't, so it's kind of like a trade-off there. This isn't actually an old edition of a book, but I really like the cover, and it's patterned and really pretty, and it is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I really like this book. It's kind of really messed up and weird and stuff, but it's from the Gramercy Classics, and I just think it's so cute, and it's...
Even though it's not old, it really fits in with everything else, so we're going to include it.
Bookmark. So. I saw this and I didn't even think about it for our wedding. I just thought about it as like, and I like the inside. It's just this really pretty, like, periwinkle blue, and I do really enjoy this book. I've read it, I think, twice, and the characters are messed up, and you're not supposed to like them, and that's kind of the beauty of it. It's just, this is how you should not live your life, and I do really enjoy this book, so I'm excited we have it.
So the next book is The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. This is from 1915. It's in okay condition, but it's from frickin' 1915. It's 100 years old, and that's just really cool. I'm not going to talk about it much. It's The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. You should know what it is. It's really cool. We're really glad to have this on our table. And to go along with that, I actually have another one that is... Another one is Huckleberry Finn, Mark Twain. This one is not nearly as old, but it's that same kind of edition that we just showed before with these kind of interesting looking insides. These are from like 1980 or something. And this one specifically is just really gorgeous.
Also, this one is full of really cool illustrations.
Yeah, it's got really cool illustrations in it, and the pages are gold, and it just looks really, really nice.
So the next book that I'm going to show is one that I haven't read, but I've heard of the author. It is The Dynast by Thomas Hardy, a drama. And I don't know anything about it, but this edition was published in 1920s, so it's old and awesome. It's like 1924, I think, so really excited, and it's a beautiful blue.
Yes, it's really awesome. And then the next one, the librettos of the Wagner operas. So it's just a bunch of librettos from Wagner operas. It's just really cool. We're both really into music and, just really classic stuff here, so we had to get it. So. And
the next book I'm going to show is King Arthur and His Knights. I don't know, this is by Henry Frith, and it's the Junior Deluxe editions. I really like the illustrations in the front of this or whatever, and there's illustrations throughout that I really enjoy. I haven't read this edition of King Arthur, but I would like to, and it's kind of falling apart, and it's creaky and old. I'm guessing it's from the 60s-ish, but I haven't. There's no publication date, so I can't say for sure.
The next book that I'm going to show is just gorgeous. It's Astoria by Washington Irving, and it's just really, really, really gorgeous. Oh my gosh! Like, look at that. That's one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite ones that we've gotten, and it's just really, really gorgeous. Really, really old. It's sort of falling apart a little tiny bit, but it's really old. I'm not sure if it has a publication date in it, but you can tell it's definitely just, it's been around for a really long time. So
probably 100 years old, maybe even more. I'm not sure when Washington Irving wrote, but yeah. And then the next book I'm going to show isn't old. I think this was published in like early 2000s, but it comes in a box and it has these really cool things on the front. It is called Impossible Journeys by Matthew Lyons. It actually has really, really bad reviews.
It has really bad reviews on Goodreads. It's pretty new, but the cover is just really cool.
Yeah, and it has like really cool illustrations inside. So we picked it up because it was like $2.
The next book that I'm going to show is very fun. It's Little Miss Rosamund by Nina Rhodes, but it's spelled with an A instead of not with an A, like my name. So that's kind of fun, like her future name. So it's really falling apart, but it's like, it goes so perfectly with all the other like books of this color that we have. So we just went ahead and got it. It's from 1906, so that kind of makes sense. It's over 100 years old, and we're really, really happy to have it. So. Yeah.
The next book I'm going to show is The Swiss Family Robinson. I read this when I was like 7 or 8, and I actually quite enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm excited to have it. I don't know when this book was published. It doesn't have a publication date, but I'm guessing 60s or earlier.
The next book that I'm going to show you is from the Nobel Prize Library. It's got Faulkner, O'Neill, and Steinbeck in it. It's just some stories by them, and it's really cool. It's not very old, but it's still pretty cool, and it's definitely going to fit in with everything.
I think it was like 10 cents or something, so I just pick it up.
It was very cheap. It's 1971 actually, so it fits in really well. So we're really glad to have that by some really great authors. So
yeah, and then the last book that we're going to show you today is the new Wonder Book of Knowledge. I don't know what this is, but it's a really pretty blue color with gold font, and I don't know when this was published, but it is really cool. It was published in the 30s, 1935. So
It's not necessarily something we're necessarily
We're
gonna
gonna read, but
it looks really cool. It's a really great blue for the tables. So
yeah, I think it
for
was
the
really
blue
inexpensive. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything we got was really inexpensive. We got most of the stuff for really cheap, so we're pretty happy with everything. We're still looking for more. We're going to be continuing to look until we're getting married in June. So, we're going to keep looking until then. We have over 6 months to keep looking for more. So we might do another one of these at some point later on, depending. But, we'll see what we find. So that's everything that we were going to show you today. Let us know if you know about any of this stuff, because we don't know about a lot of it. If you have anything to say about any of it, that's awesome. Just let us know, and you can comment on either this video or her video. I'll put a link to
both. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll put a link to part 1 on her channel in the description, along with our videos where we announce our engagement and stuff, where we show the books we've gotten together over the last few months. Anyway, so that's everything, and we hope you guys like this, and can't wait to film more together, and just you're going to see us together quite often from now on, so
it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's
hopefully.
Awesome. Yeah, anyway, we'll see you guys very soon with more. Thank you so much for watching.
Okay, bye everyone.